Ever wondered why we're all so obsessed with 3 square meals a day, even when our bodies aren't actually screaming for them? When you compress your eating window into a single hour, a protocol we call OMAD, you aren't just starving yourself for the sake of it. You're actually flicking a biological switch, a system most modern humans haven't touched in years. Think of your body like a massive warehouse, with delivery trucks backing in every 5 minutes, day and night, never giving the staff a breather. The floor manager's losing his voice shouting orders. Boxes are stacked so high you can't see the exits, and the roof is leaking like a sieve. But nobody's got a spare second to fix the leaks or sweep the floors because they're too busy unloading more gear that they don't even need. It sounds bloody exhausting, doesn't it? But let's be real. This isn't just a metaphor. This is the reality of your internal organs when you're grazing on 3 meals plus snacks all day. Your digestive system never gets a break. Your liver and pancreas are working themselves into the ground. And the result? That heavy, foggy, chronic exhaustion that you just can't seem to shake, no matter how much coffee you pour down your throat. But imagine for a second, what happens if you finally lock the warehouse gates and tell those trucks to bugger off for a while? For the first time in years, the cleanup crew can actually come out and do their jobs properly. Today, we're diving deep into the actual physiology of what happens to your body when you stop eating. We're going to walk through the 23-hour timeline, hour by hour, so you can finally understand why waiting for that one single meal might just be the most powerful health decision you'll ever make. Let's start the clock. Hours 0 to 4. The timer starts the second you put down your fork after that last bite. For these first 4 hours, you'll still feel physically full. Your system is absolutely awash with energy. Your stomach is churning away, breaking down proteins into amino acids and turning those carbs into glucose. That sugar hits your bloodstream, and your pancreas responds by pumping out insulin. Now, insulin is the main character here. Think of it like a one-way valve. When insulin is high, energy flows into your cells, but it's physically impossible for energy to flow back out. As long as that insulin is circulating in your veins, your fat cells are locked tight like a high-security vault. You cannot burn body fat in this stage. Biologically, it's just not on the cards. Your body is prioritizing the easy energy it just got from your lunch, taking the excess and packing it away in your liver and muscles in the form of glycogen. Think of glycogen as your wallet. It's quick cash, easy to reach, but it's got very limited space. At this point, you're feeling fine. No worries at all. Nothing out of the ordinary. But then we hit hour 4 to 12, and this is where most people usually throw in the towel. Around the 6 or 8 hour mark, your blood sugar levels start returning to baseline. That massive surge from your meal has evaporated. The warehouse is finally quiet, and the insulin manager, who's been flat out all day, finally clocks off. This is where your brain starts sounding the alarm. Hey mate, the cash in the wallet is running low. And that's when ghrelin, the hunger hormone, spikes through the roof. You'll feel that familiar growl in the pit of your stomach. You might get a bit cranky, irritable, maybe even a little hangry to the point where you can't sit still. Most people mistake this for starvation. They panic and think, my blood sugar's crashing, I need a muesli bar right now. But trust me, you aren't starving, you're just addicted to easy energy. Your body's like a high-performance sports car that's been running on premium 98 octane its whole life. And now it's being asked to switch over to the backup battery system, so it's only natural there are a few jitters and stalls along the way. But if you can push through that mental barrier, something incredible happens. Your liver realizes no more deliveries are coming, so it reaches into that glycogen wallet. It starts breaking down stored sugar to keep your levels steady. I'll say it again, you aren't losing muscle, and you certainly aren't dying. You're just finally using the cash you've been saving up for a rainy day. By hour 12, that quick-access glycogen is starting to hit critical levels. Now your body has two choices. It can shut down, or it can finally unlock the vault. Since you're a survival machine designed to hunt for days without a feed, your body chooses to crack that vault wide open. Insulin drops to its lowest baseline, and this is the signal your biochemistry has been waiting for. With insulin out of the way, an enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase kicks into gear. This enzyme is the key that unlocks your fat cells. For the first time in days, maybe even weeks, your body starts pulling energy from your fat tissue with total efficiency. You aren't running on that bagel you had yesterday anymore. You're running on you. Between hour 14 and 16, the fuel transition completes. And honestly, the feeling of the fast changes completely. That gnawing hunger usually just vanishes. And you might wonder why. It's because your fuel supply isn't swinging up and down anymore. When you rely on external food, your energy is a roller coaster. But when you switch to your own body fat, your energy becomes a smooth, steady line. Did you know that even a lean person has tens of thousands of calories stored as fat? That's a massive battery that can keep you going for weeks. As you burn that fat, your liver turns those fatty acids into something called ketones, and your brain absolutely loves them. Ketones are a premium, high-octane fuel. They burn much cleaner than glucose. Burning sugar is like an old diesel engine blowing black smoke, creating metabolic oxidative stress. But ketones? They're like a clean electric motor. They produce more energy per molecule with almost no waste. This is why around hour 16, people report feeling like they've found a hidden gear. The brain fog evaporates. Your focus becomes sharp as a tack. You don't feel sluggish. You feel alive, like there's a low-voltage current running through your veins. Evolutionarily, this makes perfect sense. If a hungry caveman got sleepy and confused, he'd never catch his dinner, and he'd be finished. Hunger makes us sharp. It turns us back into the hunters we were meant to be. Hour 16 to 18. Now we're getting to the absolute holy grail of this cycle. This is the reason researchers are so obsessed with this timeline. It's called autophagy. Remember that messy warehouse from earlier, the one that was too busy to ever get a clean? At hour 18, that warehouse has been empty for a long time now. The manager looks around and realizes he needs spare parts to keep the lights on, but there are no trucks coming. So he orders the staff to start scavenging. They go through the back rooms, finding broken shelves, rusty pipes, and old junk that's been sitting there for years. They pull them apart, melt them down, and use them to build new, stronger steel frames. Inside your body, your cells start hunting for damaged proteins. They find old, worn-out mitochondria, those little power plants in your cells that haven't been working right. They find misfolded proteins, the kind that can lead to things like Alzheimer's if they're left to rot. Your body creates a tiny membrane around this trash, digests it, and recycles it into brand new, pristine amino acids. That's autophagy, literally self-eating, the most advanced internal recycling program on the planet. When you snack all day, autophagy never happens. The cleanup crew never gets the call. But by fasting to hour 18, you're finally letting your body take the rubbish out. This is why your skin starts to glow, why those old aches and pains start to fade, because you're finally clearing out the biological rust that's been slowing you down for years. Now wait hour 20 to 22, and I know what the skeptics are thinking. Hang on, if my body's eating itself, ain't it going to eat my muscle too? Look, that's one of the biggest myths in the game, and it's dead wrong. At hour 20, as you're deep in the fast, your body releases a hormone to protect your assets, human growth hormone, or HGH. The research is spot on. During a fast, HGH can skyrocket by 1,300%, sometimes even 2,000%. HGH is a muscle-sparing hormone. It's like a force field that protects your lean tissue. It tells your body, burn the fat, but don't you dare touch the muscle. We need that for the hunt. Your body's smarter than you give it credit for. It's not going to burn the furniture, your muscle, to heat the house when there's a massive pile of firewood, your fat, sitting right outside. It'll always burn the wood first. This unique combo, sky-high HGH and rock-bottom insulin, is a state you almost never see in nature outside of fasting. It creates the perfect environment to hold onto your strength while the fat just melts away.
Hour 23. You're right on the doorstep of your eating window. Your body is now perfectly primed. Your insulin sensitivity is through the roof. Think of your cells like a bone-dry sponge. A sponge that's already soaked can't take on any more water. That's what your cells are like when they're fed all day. But a dry sponge, it's ready to soak up every single nutrient with maximum efficiency. Your digestive system has had a 23-hour holiday. The inflammation in your gut lining has finally settled down. The bad bacteria that thrive on sugar have starved off, while the hardy beneficial ones are still standing. You're running on pure fat. Your brain is glowing with ketones, and your cells have been scrubbed clean. You aren't weak, you are operating at your absolute peak. But when the clock hits 23 and it's time to eat, this is where most people blow it. Because your body is so absorbent right now, what you put in your mouth matters twice as much. You can't look at this meal as a reward for suffering. You have to see it as high-grade building material. If you break a 23-hour fast with a greasy pizza and a sugary soft drink, you're dumping toxic sludge into a high-performance engine. You'll crash hard. The sugar spike will cause a massive insulin overcorrection, and you'll end up feeling bloated, exhausted, and miserable. You've got to keep that momentum going. Step 1. Lay the foundation with protein, high-quality stuff, a nice steak, some eggs, salmon or chicken. Your body's screaming for those amino acids to rebuild what was recycled during autophagy. This is when the real repair happens. Step 2. Fuel the fire with healthy fats. Avocado, olive oil, grass-fed butter or some nuts. Since your body's already in fat-burning mode, eating fat keeps that machinery running smooth without a massive insulin spike. Step 3. Get those micros in. Because you're only eating once, you can't rely on snacks for your minerals. You need a mountain of leafy greens, cruciferous veg, and maybe some fermented stuff like sauerkraut for your gut. This replenishes the minerals that keep the cramps and fatigue at bay. When you eat like this, focusing on nutrient-dense, satisfying food, something strange happens. You'll get full remarkably fast. Your hormones, leptin telling you you're full and ghrelin telling you you're hungry, finally start talking to each other again. You'll stop eating because your body's actually nourished, not just because you're physically stuffed. Now, let's talk about the adjustment period, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. If you jump from 6 meals a day to OMAD tomorrow morning, you're going to have a rough time. Your body needs time to build the machinery to burn fat. It needs to ramp up the right enzymes. Your liver needs practice producing ketones efficiently. We call this metabolic flexibility. In that first week, you might get a dull headache or feel a bit flat. That's not because the protocol is bad, it's because your body's going through withdrawal and you're losing electrolytes fast. The fix is easy. Salt. Just plain old sea salt. When insulin drops, Your kidneys flush out water and sodium, so you've got to put it back. A pinch of sea salt in your water during the fast can stop those headaches in their tracks. So don't rush it. Move your breakfast back a couple of hours, then 4, then skip it entirely, then slowly push lunch back. Let your body dip its toe in the water before you dive into the deep end. And remember, fasting is a form of stress on the body. If you're already flat out with life stress, not sleeping or dealing with thyroid issues, a 23-hour fast might push your cortisol too high. So listen to your body. This protocol is for healthy adults. If you're pregnant, breastfeeding, have a history of eating disorders, or you're on medication for diabetes or blood pressure, do not attempt this without a serious chat with your doctor first.
Look, we live in a food environment that is completely at odds with our biology. It's designed to keep us terrified of hunger, to keep us slaves to an industry that needs us constantly shoving sugar in our mouths just to keep our hands from shaking. But hunger isn't an emergency, it's just a signal, one that you can master. Beyond the weight loss and the massive amount of time you'll save, OMAD gives you something much more valuable: freedom. You stop being a slave to your blood sugar and you return to the ancient rhythm of our ancestors: hunt, feast, and rest. Picture the best version of yourself, waking up with a clear head, zero brain fog, and the energy to tackle the day without needing a snack every 2 hours. You aren't depriving yourself, you're finally thriving. You're giving your hard-working body the chance to heal itself for once. If you're ready to give this a crack, let me know in the comments. Did you hit a wall at hour 12, or did you feel that surge of energy at hour 16? I'll see you in the next one. No worries.